next thing. Sometimes that worship set was meant for the worship team during rehearsal, and that's all it was ever meant for. And that's okay. You need to trust God, and you need to find that, like I said, that heart of discernment where you can say, like, this is just going to be what it is. I'm going to trust that something is happening. Whether it's happening right here in this room, just because people got their hands up doesn't mean that they're worshiping. Just because people are running around or yelling or who knows what, doesn't mean that they're worshiping. Like, what's happening in their heart is what's important. And you don't always see that. And sometimes you hear about it months later. Sometimes you're looking at somebody in the front row leading worship and they're just... and they come up to you and they come up to you a month later and they say, that song you all sang, whatever it was so meaningful to me. And I say, you should have seen your face.
Being in worship ministry, I've seen a lot. I've had some fails and some really cool wins, but all of that has led me to this. It's now my turn to share my journey and remind others you're not alone. Welcome to the Worship Aphorisms podcast, where we discuss our worship fails and our faith wins while helping you find your key one aphorism at a time. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Worship Aphorisms. Hey, y'all, I'm really excited about the guest that I have today because, man, you always need that one brother that, like, has followed you in your journey for worship, like, forever, has remained consistent, and, like, y'all have those crazy stories because you kind of went through them together. Today, I have one of the next best songwriters and producers coming up. This man, I firmly believe God is about to do something big with this man, particularly. And y'all don't even know who you're about to hear from today. So I'd like to introduce Braxton.
What's up, y'all? Good to see you.
Yeah, man. How you been, bro?
Been good. Been busy, you know. You already know a little bit about it, but just busy. Writing a lot. Got 2 kids now. You know, life is a little crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I want the opportunity for you to tell our audience, those who are watching, who is Braxton? What's your worship story? Like, talk to us about it.
Yeah, man. So I was raised here in Kansas City. In one of those families, you know, that we were at church every once in a while. We were doing Christmas, we were doing Easter, but it wasn't a big part of my life. And
yeah, bro.
Sorry, I need to cough.
You're good.
Yeah. So worship wasn't a thing for me that was super important. It kind of stumbled upon it on accident, more or less.
Okay.
So backing up a little bit, backing up to high school, my wife and I were dating. I kind of slid into the DMs, like saw she was a Christian girl and saw she was on a mission trip, and I said, "Hey, I know something about a mission trip. What's up? What's good? What's good?" So we started talking, and she's a PK, she's a pastor's kid, and she started going to this church downtown. And we had started dating and spending some time together, and she invites me to go to this church called Church of the Resurrection. Yeah. She's like, it's this really cool church downtown. You know, there's good coffee. There's gonna be great music. And I'm like, oh, you said music? Like I'm a musician. Like I'm interested in music. At the time, I had been like playing around town a little bit, writing some music with friends. You know, but nothing in the Christian scene. It was all just you know, kind of doing this as a hobby, kind of on the side. And so we go into church. You know, in my head, what church looks like is like, you know, sitting in pews with grandma, trying not to fall asleep. You know,
yeah, bro.
Everything kind of going over my head, just kind of sitting there because my mom told me I had to be there. And so this is the first time at 17 that I'm like walking into church on purpose.
Come on.
Not because I was interested in the Lord, not because I was interested in faith, but because my girlfriend told me to. And I was interested in her. So that's kind of where we started. But I walked in and got to hear essentially CCM, essentially some like contemporary Christian music for the first time. Electric guitars, crazy, lights going on, all the things, all the feels, it's this big drum set. And for the first time I was like, whoa, this is like,
it's different.
I didn't know that this is what church could look like, So, I mean, that's where it started. We started going to church there, and within like a month, my wife had introduced me to this guy, Justin. He was a worship leader there at the time, and she says, "Hey, Justin, this dude plays piano. This dude is a songwriter. This dude sings. Like, you got to get him on the worship team." Yeah. And I'm like, maybe. Like, I might be down to do that. Like, let's see, let's feel it out. And so I eventually said yes, and like within a month or two of coming to this church for the first time, I was joining the worship team. Was jumping on, didn't know the songs. Like I was having to listen to them like all week just to be ready for a Thursday night rehearsal. Dang, like bro. I didn't know what Nashville numbers were. I didn't know I didn't know we were going to do the bridge 8 more times than they said we were going to do the bridge. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just came in like fresh eyes, just excited to play music. Still, even at this point, not thinking about like the potential of faith formation, the potential of this becoming, I mean, now here we are 10 years later, like my vocation, my career, my path, the thing that I spend, if I'm not spending time with my family, I'm spending time in ministry. And so, not knowing that's what was coming next for me, but just there to play music. To hang out, to live in community, to be around people that clearly cared for me and cared for my family, and that's kind of where it all started. Was there, and what came next was slow. For a while there, I was just coming to church on the Sundays that I was serving. Then I would get invited to things. I get invited to come out to dinner after a Thursday night rehearsal, and started to form a true community. Started to see the ways that people can love you in a community, and started to actually consider where I fit into that community, which was so cool. I started actually going to church on the Sundays that I wasn't serving. I started actually considering like what it might be like to be in a small group. I started actually reading my Bible. I started actually looking at what the words were that I was singing, rather than just singing them on Sunday morning and not thinking about them. I started to actually, ponder, what does this lyric mean for me? What does this mean for my relationship with God? And that's kind of where my faith formed, and where my worship story began, was this like slow burn. Like people talk about falling in love, and people talk about like this love at first sight. And I think some people have that relationship with God, where they are in a moment, they're at a youth retreat, or they're at something where they see God for the first time and they're immediately in love. And I didn't have that. That wasn't my experience, and I love that experience exists for people, but that wasn't where I was. Mine was slow. Mine was that love, that deep love that takes time, that love that is lasting because of the slow formation that it had, and the way that it was able to grow. And so, that's kind of where it all began.
And that's real good, bro.
Yeah.
I like the slow burn, but I think it's also funny how God will use your pursuit for romance with the young lady.
Yeah,
to
man.
Draw your heart in and be like, that's okay. You can have her and me.
You never know how you're going to get it. That's for sure.
He never ceases to surprise me.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
But that kind of leads into my next question. As long as I've known you, through all the things that we've ventured into in all the worship areas, you've been a huge family man. Like you've been Braxton, but you've also been Haley's husband.
Yes. Amen
and
to
I
that.
absolutely love that, right? But that has now led into you have a family now. For years we was like, where the babies at? Right? And now they're here. And you are like at the peak of like what most people would call worship ministry, and having a full-time job in it, right? So how are you balancing both being a family man and being a worship pastor? And like being a songwriter, bro?
Man, the answer to that is that it is messy. It is always messy. The reality of ministry is that there's always a need. There's always a great need. And, I work at a church called Church of the Resurrection. We have 9 campuses across Kansas City. And what that means is like we do a lot in the community. We do more than just music on Sundays. That's kind of my focus. But, I will say, and my boss would say, like, that's probably like 10% of my job is Sunday morning singing with people, worshiping with people. And so what that sometimes looks like is, a Monday night rehearsal for a special Tuesday night event. And then Wednesday, we got to work with the youth group, and we got to, we've got worship going on with the youth. So we got to be there on Wednesday night, and Thursday night, you got rehearsal for Sunday, and Saturday, we got an event all day. That's going to be, the trunk or treat with the community event. And I've got to be there to support and to spend time with the community that I'm engaged in, that I'm, a part of. And so what it means is that I have to be intentional. Yeah. I've got to be intentional with every moment that I can. Like, the unfortunate thing when you have any full-time job and when you have a family that you desire to like be committed to, is that you have to start saying no to more things. And that's hard. It's hard to say no. It's hard. Like, when my friends are like, you want to go out on Friday night? I'm like, I could stay up till 1 a.m. and then my kid is definitely going to be up at 6:30 the next morning, and I'm definitely going to be like Saturday mornings, like, we hang out like that. We're spending time with the family. So like, it's about sacrifice, and what you learn is that there's an opportunity for sacrifice in a lot of parts of your life. Whether it's your ministry as a volunteer or as a staff person or as a father or as a husband or as a friend or even for yourself, there is always opportunity to grow and to sacrifice and to prioritize. And so I think right now it's about priorities. And the priorities ultimately are my kiddos and my wife Haley, and there are ways to balance that with vocational ministry that are healthy. You just have to learn those, and you have to learn how to say no to some things and say yes to other things, and learn how to operate on a little bit less sleep, and just keep rolling with the punches, because it always looks a little different.
That's facts.
Yeah,
bro. Ministry is one of the wildest things, and also trying to balance it with like all the other things that God has called you to.
Oh, my
goodness. Of course, like family being the first thing that God has called you to steward. It gets wild. It gets crazy. So I kind of want to expound upon that. But what has like your balancing both your family and your worship ministry taught you on a deeper level? And I think you might have alluded to this with sacrifice, on a deeper level of like what worship actually means and what it's shown you about God himself.
Yeah. I think, man, God calls us to be disciples, to evangelize, to go out and preach the gospel, and to bring people in. And I think that what I've learned is that the best way that I can bring people in is through my music. The best way that I can speak to my congregation is through writing, is through worship on a Sunday. And I think that for me, having a family has just added perspective.
There you go.
It has added that perspective that the things that we do on a daily basis matter. Singing on a Sunday morning matters. The words that we sing matter. The keys that we pick matter. The teams that we create matter. I worked in student ministry for 3 years before kind of jumping into that Sunday morning worship role. And I would hear the students that I worked with start to repeat things to me that I had said to them months ago or even years ago. And I was, this was around the same time that my daughter Birdie was born. And it just was this perspective of like, oh, wow, like the things that I say are actually being received. Like, I don't know. Sometimes we feel like we're in an echo chamber a little bit. We're just talking. We're saying things. Like, we don't know if people are listening to us or not. But when you give a word of wisdom, or maybe a word of not so much wisdom to somebody, and then you hear them repeat it. Yeah. That really adds perspective to life. And so that increased my intentionality. That increased my my desire to be focused and to be precise in the things that I said, from platform, the ways that I talked to my wife, the ways that I parented my children, the ways that I read my Bible, all of these things. Like, an increased intentionality is going to like create a better result. And I think starting to apply that to your everyday life is so important. And I think sometimes it takes having kids. Sometimes it takes getting your first, full-time job. Who knows what it takes, but when you start to realize the weight of your words and of your actions, it definitely changes perspective a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Bro. Absolutely. Sacrifice, intentionality is kind of like a different view of worship that many don't see outside of like the standard Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think that's great insight to other leaders and people who are just watching. Like, this thing requires sacrifice and intentionality. Otherwise, it's
it does.
It's gonna eat you up, consume you.
Yes, it does.
You're gonna get lost in the sauce, bro.
Yeah. There's a lot to get lost in. Yeah, unfortunately, we are humans. The leaders in your churches, wherever you're serving, are human, and they're going to make a lot of human mistakes. Yeah, and it's important for us, for the people who are leaders, to own those mistakes and to try to get better, to not just say we're going to be better or to sweep things under the rug, but to own them and to actually work at them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Well, I want to pivot just a little bit.
Sure.
Like I said, y'all, he's one of the next best songwriters and producers.
Come on.
That I know. I've actually gotten a chance to feature on some of the things that you've written, and they're dope.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you this question of like, since you are a songwriter, has it changed your sensitivity of how you select songs for a Sunday morning?
Yes, 100%. We actually were just having this conversation not too long ago about like the why behind a song. And I firmly believe, and this is something that's even new for me, that I want to believe the words if I'm going to sing them.
Absolutely.
So we talked about this song called Nothing Else by Cody Carnes. Yeah, and Cody, if you're listening, you're great.
We love you, bro.
You're awesome. It's a great song. I don't always just want Jesus.
That's facts.
Sometimes I want a cheeseburger. Sometimes I want to lay in bed all day and just do nothing. And that's my nothing else. That's the nothing else that I want. I want nothing else but to sit right here and not have to wake up early or go, I don't know, go to work or whatever it is, And so I can't sing that on a Sunday. I can't say, I just want you, Lord, and nothing else. Yeah. Because I am a human. Yeah. And my desires are not that. I wish that they were. I'm working on it. But I can't say that. And that's a song that right now in this season of life I can't sing to a congregation. I can't sing that and create this vertical worship and this place of authenticity in my church, because it's not where I'm at. And so finding songs, and sometimes what that means is I'm just going to write the songs, and that's what I've learned. Sometimes the easiest way for me to find a song that sits well with me and that feels like worship is to just go ahead and write it out. And so that's, you come to my church on a Sunday morning, there's a good chance that you're going to hear a song that I've written, that I've been a part of writing, that it's been written in my community. And that's just something that's important to me. And I think there's something, really beautiful about writing music for your community. You're the one living there, like Cody Carnes isn't there with you on Sunday morning. Like, I shouldn't keep going there. Let me try that again. Elevation isn't there with you on a Sunday morning, as much as I wish that they were, because man, they'd be playing the songs. Bro. But the truth is that I think that the best way to worship on a Sunday morning is to use songs that are sitting right with your heart.
Yeah.
That you can really believe.
You need,
and you need to sit down and read those words before you schedule the song. You need to.
That's so important. Bro.
Yeah, you need to know what you're singing about. And I'm guilty of this. I think that every worship leader says, praise is a great song, and it's going to get people hype, and they're going to have a good time singing it, and that's awesome. And that's a great song. It's a very well-written song. Yeah, it might not be right for your congregation. It might not be where you're at in your heart posture. It might not be the right moment for that song.
Yeah, bro.
And it's important to be sensitive to that. It's important to know what's going on in the world around you.
Yeah.
I'm a Methodist, which means that we, the level that we care about social issues is a little bit higher than some other denominations. And so, if I'm not going to sing Glorious Day the day after a shooting or something, that has happened because, or I'm not going to sing a song called I Trust in God. I'm not going to sing this song that says He will never fail when something horrific has happened the day before, And so it's just so important to be constantly considering those things, constantly considering what's the context that you're singing this in, who are you singing it for, why are you singing it, who are you singing it to, what does your congregation look like?
Yeah, man.
If your congregation is 65 plus, don't introduce a new song every week. They're not going to know it. They're not going to like it. They're not going to enjoy it. Throw in some hymns in there. Go learn your hymns. They've been around a long time. They've been around for a reason. I'm not going to be the one that says we should do a hymn every single week or we should do a brand new song every week. I don't think there's a prescription per se for it, but intentionality, man.
Yeah, man. And I think it's funny because when we did have that conversation about songs and the Nothing Else, I hadn't thought about that, but we were already kind of talking about other songs and my absolute hate for songs that aren't necessarily focused towards God.
Yeah.
We stick at songs. I was in a worship setting and the team was actually singing this song and it kept saying, I'm a miracle, I'm a miracle. And, and I'm like, yo, if I really lift my hands in this and I'm thinking about the words to this song, I'm actually worshiping you.
Yeah.
I'm not worshiping God. And that's driving me crazy. And there's other songs like the Lord bless you and keep you. And I was also listening to another podcast and he was like, so who are we singing to?
Yeah.
We're
the worship leader. The worship leaders may be singing to God, but then how are you stewarding a posture of worship? Who is the congregation singing to?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of thinking about the Nothing Else when you were saying, and I was like, man, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I wish that's all I wanted,
man.
But man, I don't.
I've sang the song so many times and then felt guilty.
It's a good song
while singing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, but I still want a wife.
Yeah.
There's some other things I want. I can't. If I sing this song, maybe this song is going to come true.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have nothing else, right?
We sang it for a reason. Yeah.
Right.
When we enter that posture of worship, we're entering it for a reason.
Yeah, man.
We're asking for things. We're crying out for things. We're celebrating things. And those words, man, I'll keep going back to it. The words matter.
They do matter.
Yeah. Ugh.
There's so many teams that and singers that I've sat with, and teaching worship has been crazy, but you always have to go back and say, make sure you hear what you're singing.
Yeah.
And not just making pretty sounds.
Yeah. And for the listener out there, have y'all noticed we have not been talking about how good you're singing the song? We haven't even started on that conversation yet.
That part.
We're starting at the bottom. We're starting at, what are you actually singing about? Not, can you sing every single run that Torrin Wells has taught us over the years? It's not that. It's not, can you play the perfect drum fill? Let's start with our heart. Let's start with the worship.
Yeah.
And see what happens next.
Yeah, bro.
We have not talked one bit about how good somebody can sing or how well they can play their instrument.
That's good stuff.
That has not even started,
Absolutely.
That's not the focus.
Yeah, man. And it really isn't. And I think we often get lost.
Yeah, I know that I do. I know that I do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because I know that I really get lost too, and my spirit gets disturbed when I go into worship settings. And I'm like, man, they don't sound good. But then you like when you really set in, you're like, but their heart posture's right.
Yeah.
And then God shows
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is like, for myself as a leader, that has been a huge thing that I have learned about. This might be a later question if you want to.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So if we're talking about musical excellence, this is like something that I walked into my job in vocational ministry with this certain expectation of excellence.
Yeah.
I walked in with this expectation that like I am going to be a musician who is worshiping God. I'm going to be worshiping my instrument and worshiping God. I am going to be creating an atmosphere that is so musical and so interesting that people are going to be distracted by my instruments when I'm trying to worship God. And when I recognized, I was so humbled. I told you I worked in student ministry. And when you work with 6th graders, 7th grade, when your drummer is a 7th grader who just started lessons last year, and your guitar player is a 6th grader who can play 3 chords, and your singers, you got 8 singers on stage that are excited to sing, but they're just in the middle school, high school choir.
Bro.
Like it's not elevation worship.
No,
it's not.
You're speaking good, bro.
We can't do the hits on the song. We can't, we're not going to hit that run. We're not going to hit those harmonies. I was taken back so quickly. Right. I was stopped in my tracks. Braxton, you are not here to make the most excellent sound. You are here to make the most genuine sound. You are here to teach these students, teach these young people what it means to worship.
Yeah.
And what it means to worship is not that you are the best player.
Yeah.
I hate saying that because I love... I am a musician. I think that playing your instrument with excellence is so important. I think that it is, it's not this thing where we can just say like, okay, just play whatever and it doesn't matter. Like you need to be prepared. You need to honor the people around you, the community that you're in. But ultimately, the goal is not to be the best musician, to be the next Grammy Award winning, songwriter of the year or piano player of the year. Like the goal is to worship. The goal is to create community that is authentic, that is honoring to God, that is for God.
Yeah.
And that hopefully what you're doing on stage from the platform is bringing people closer to God.
Yeah.
That is what we're after.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. And that's, as a musician, that sucks.
It's hard.
As a Christian, that is the only thing that matters.
That's it.
Ugh.
Yeah, bro.
It is.
And you bringing up that poses a really big question for those who are listening. Because you said, I don't know if y'all heard that, but this man said, are you worshiping God or are you worshiping your instrument? Let that set in.
Yeah. I know that I've done both.
Bro, me too.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. We are like brought up in this culture that like we need to be excellent at our instrument, and it's important. Like you should desire to be good at what you do. You should
facts,
in everything.
Yeah.
You want to be a cook, be a good cook. You want to be a father, be a good father.
Yeah.
You want to be a musician, be a good musician.
Yeah.
But on a Sunday morning with 20 or 20,000 people in front of you, what is important is that we're worshiping God, not anything else.
Anything else, bro.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Cody was talking about.
Else means.
Maybe that's what he was talking about. Man, Cody, you got us. You got us.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is your host, Chris August of the Worship Aphorisms podcast. Hey, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for being a supporter of our community and watching this month's episode. If you're looking for other ways to help support our community, check out our merch shop where you'll find t-shirts and hoodies and hats with our official logo on it. If you're wanting to be a part of the crew, you'll find other gear that has our Post Worshipers Crew logo on it. Get that and show your swag and your support for us. Everything that you purchase through that shop is a donation that helps support this keep going. If you made it this far, don't forget to slam that subscribe button, like and comment and share with your friends.
please feel free to comment under each one of our videos and tell us how we are helping you. Until next time, let's jump back into this episode. Talk to you later.
No, that's man, that is so good. But the other aspect is like when we start to worship our instrument, it can become a real big distraction.
Yeah. Yes.
Really big distraction. I mean, I've actually been in environments where the singer is the dopest singer, but they want to hit all the runs.
Yeah.
And it's like, I heard you now.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get to the feet of Jesus?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a
well, and this
point.
goes into discernment.
Yeah,
and
bro.
discernment on the platform is something that is so important.
Talk about it, bro.
When you don't have to do the bridge 8 times for it to be impactful.
That's facts.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's great. And sometimes you're doing it for 2 people in the congregation that are receiving it. And that's great. And sometimes that's what you need in your own heart, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But you have to find the line between distraction and glorifying God, and you can't toe the line on the edge of distraction.
Yeah,
you
bro.
can't get too close to that.
Yeah.
And it's easy to.
Yeah.
And it's, I've heard so many people say this, hide me behind the cross,
Yeah, man.
let God go first.
Yeah.
And if you're going to believe that and you're going to do that, you have to actually let it happen. You have to actually practice it. You have to actually be okay with, sometimes I'm leading on a Sunday morning and it seems like the congregation isn't really into it.
Yeah.
Maybe the song is new. Maybe they're just not feeling it. Maybe the drums are a little off.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what it is? An inexperienced, immature leader would put pressure against that, and try to win the audience over, try to win the congregation over.
Yeah.
And that's not what the moment needs.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes God wants us to move on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to just have what we had and just go to the next thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes that worship set was meant for the worship team during rehearsal.
Yeah.
And that's all it was ever meant for.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You need to trust God, and you need to find that, like I said, that heart of discernment where you can say, like, this is just going to be what it is.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to trust that something is happening.
Yeah, man.
Whether it's happening right here in this room, just because people got their hands up doesn't mean that they're worshiping. Just because people are running around or yelling or who knows what, doesn't mean that they're worshiping. Like, what's happening in their heart is what's important.
Yeah, man.
And you don't always see that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear about it months later. Sometimes you're looking at somebody in the front row leading worship and they're just... and they come up to you and they come up to you a month later and they say, that song you all sang, whatever it was so meaningful to me. And I say, you should have seen your face. I did not think it was, but God is moving. God is moving in ways that we cannot expect or explain.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And that is leadership. And that is discernment, is trusting that what you have prepared is offering God to somebody.
Yeah, man.
And you might not ever see the fruit of that, but you've got to trust that it's there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Discernment is so important in leadership and doing worship, because I agree with you. There's not always the sets where everybody's all the way in, and because I've gotten a chance to travel to many churches and sing in different environments, and God has kind of made me adjust how I worship in each environment, which is really cool. But like, it is like your discerning and ability to hear God and where to lead the people in the room at the time, like, it needs to be there. And I know for me, a lot of times that started with me preparing outside of the service that week and just being sensitive to the Holy Spirit and what he wants to do. But God is still also, like, in transparency, God is still like maturing me in the space of like those moments where people are like, because it's like, man, do you not feel the presence of God? Like, like, the coffee is more important than Jesus right now. But and same, like, people come up to you later and they're like, man, the way that you guys did that thing a month ago really impacted me, and I was dealing with this thing on that Sunday, and God spoke to me, and you're like, man, you really didn't show it.
Yeah.
But he is doing something. He's moving.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
But think about how vulnerable, like, we are people who offer worship in a very public way.
Yeah, man.
We are very used to showing our emotions from a platform.
Come on.
Think about the people that haven't experienced that. Think about the person that is sitting there that is shy, that doesn't, that's not comfortable throwing their hands in the air, that's not comfortable singing along. Maybe they don't like the way that they sing.
Come on.
You can never confidently say like where somebody's coming from.
Yeah.
And like I can remember as a young person and as a young Christian, this moment in my life where it felt like things were falling apart.
Yeah.
And I was at church on a Sunday morning, and this was around that same time that I had just recently started at Resurrection as a volunteer. I wasn't coming that frequently on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And they were doing the song Beautiful Things by Gungor.
Yes.
You know, it's this song, 10 years ago, every white church was singing this song. Like, this is the song. Come on.
This is the jam. Yeah.
You make me new. Yeah, come on. I remember sitting there and just like feeling like I was giving the weight, the burdens of my life to Jesus.
Yeah.
I was sitting while other people had their hands raised.
Yeah.
I was not singing along. I was in my own meditative state.
Yeah.
I wasn't emoting loudly. I wasn't, weeping. I wasn't anything. I was probably stone-faced, and this was an extremely powerful moment of worship for me.
Yeah.
This was a moment where I felt God lifting those things up off of me.
Yeah, man.
And like I was able to talk to that worship leader because I knew him personally.
Yeah.
But if I was at a church that I didn't go to every Sunday and I didn't know that guy really well,
Yeah.
there's no chance I would have said anything to that guy because that's my personality. That's just the way that I am. And so I have to remind myself that everybody walking in is coming from a different place, and everybody's comfortability to share, whether it's to share in worship or to share after worship or to share in one-on-one conversations, is different.
Yeah,
and
man.
It is that trust in God that allows me to do my job with excellence.
Yeah, man.
Because I'm not seeking the affirmation of a hand being raised.
Yeah, bro.
I'm seeking God's heart.
Yeah, man.
And I'm seeking God's heart not through applause or through streams or through anything. I'm seeking God's heart through my conversations and my relationship with God,
man.
and the way that I see God moving in my life.
That's so good, bro. That's really good. Because that's a different perspective. I think as worship leaders, we don't realize that we've been gifted to be vulnerable openly.
Yeah.
And that the people that we are being vulnerable to may not be used to that vulnerability. Right, but that doesn't mean that God isn't changing their heart, and that's a really cool thought, bro. And I love that. I want to actually transition though into something funny.
Yeah,
bro. Give me some funny moments that you've had in worship.
Man, I mean, I can think of a lot of silly little things. When you've been a part of vocational ministry for a while, you see a lot of silly little things happen. You see lots of drama happen behind the scenes. You see, I've been a part of retreats or conferences where we're out of town for the week and somebody's ready to throw it all away and just go home, and you see lots of crazy things happen behind the scenes. But one story I wanted to go back to was the first time that I was going to lead worship on like a larger stage. Okay. And so we were doing Easter at the Kaufman Performing Arts Center here in town, here in Kansas City. And I was 18 or 19. Okay. And this was something like we had rehearsed like multiple different nights. Like we were ready to go. This was like, we weren't running clicking tracks. Like we had a 12-piece band where I'm playing the grand piano in the Kaufman Performing Arts Center. This is like for a little 18, 19-year-old Braxton, this is like the real deal. Yeah, like, bro. This is before I'm thinking about worshiping my instrument versus worshiping God. Yeah. This is like, I better play these notes. Yeah, bro. I better hit every single thing. So I'm getting up. super early in the morning.
Yeah.
We're headed to the Kaufman Performing Arts Center. It's probably 4 a.m. And I'm driving, and things are looking a little weird, but I'm under the belief that I'm probably just tired. I don't know what's going on. I'm probably fine. I get to the Kaufman. We start our rehearsal, and I'm like, I can't read my chord chart. What is wrong with me? Like, why can't I read my chord chart today? Probably shouldn't have had my chord chart. Come on, you probably got to know the music. But we're in rehearsal. It's my one last time to look at the iPad.
Yeah.
I look over at Haley, and she's like, "Are you wearing my glasses?" And I kid you not, like, I'm blind. I can't see. I cannot see anything. I have, and I don't even know how I ended up with my wife's glasses, but I've got my wife's glasses on. I can't see anything. We're on this beautiful stage. I got all these amazing people around me, and I can't see. I can't enjoy the moment. I can't do anything. We come up to 9 o'clock service. There's 3,500 people there. Yeah. I can't see one of them. I do the whole thing blind, basically. And so, like, I hardly have memories of that, like, first big stage kind of worship moment because I couldn't see anything. I literally could not see. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know, bro. I don't even know how it possibly happened, but I will always try my best to remember that. But it's a blurry memory for more than one reason.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was just silly. Some other things, like, I can think of times where, like, as a volunteer, I watched, like, the worship leader start the song in 6/8 instead of 4/4. And, like, there's nothing more awkward than just, like, trying to chug along through a song. Like, when you've, like, started in the wrong tempo, you've started it in the wrong key. Like, who has not? Like, everybody's been a part of it. But, or, like, how many times I've walked on stage when the clock has already hit 0. Yeah, man. And for whatever reason, the tech team, they turn the music off, they turn the lights up. They're like, all right, it's time to go. Whether the worship leader's here or not, it's time to go. And I'm like, y'all, can we, if I'm not up there, like,
don't turn those lights
who
on,
knows? Yeah, come on. I'm like awkwardly like, hey guys, so we're gonna have don't have the guitar on, it's not tuned up, it's not anything. I'm like, so we're gonna have some worship now. And we jump into a song like praise, and it's like, all right, let's get all hyped, but first we had to have 30 seconds of awkward silence. Oh my goodness, man. Worship is it's a fun thing, and you just can't take it too seriously.
No.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, bro. Crazy things happen all the time. Okay. So what's your worship afterism?
Oh, man. So, I think I have 2 for you.
Okay.
And the first one kind of goes along with this idea of not taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
I am of the belief that my job as a worship leader is not to be an authority figure, but is to be selfless, to be, putting myself down before people so that they can be successful. I hear stories of people being sent away from their communities for not being able to play their instrument well enough, or for living in sin. For people being taken off of platform for not being enough. And my biggest belief is that's not Jesus.
It's not.
I have a hard time finding a place where the Bible tells us that we need to be keeping track of people's sins. I have a hard time finding a place in the Bible where it says you can be a servant leader, or you can be a leader, but not if you commit this certain type of sin. I know in my life that I have fallen short. Almost every day, probably every day.
All of us.
Every single day, most moments, that I am not enough. And God's grace is enough.
Man.
And the most important thing for me is that a leader could show that grace to the people around them.
Thanks.
It is such a shame that people are sent away from church. And, for some people, that's an important part of their faith formation.
Yeah.
And, it, by the grace of God, like those become good things.
Yeah.
But it is so unfortunate that people use this human given power of ministry or pastor or whatever it is to put others down and to lessen other people.
Yeah,
and
bro.
The way that I've seen that hurt people is really unfortunate. I have the other one. I need to look at it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I think it is very unfortunate, and that's also something I've debated with myself. Like, and is it the heart of God to just discontinue people? And it's totally not. It's not his heart. And how many sins do everyone commit daily? And how is it cool that we put this sin is bigger than that sin on label on each sin, and then say, okay, the person who lied 10,000 times this week, they get to lead worship.
Yeah.
And we are going to be led into his presence, but the person who had sex before marriage, they gotta go. They gotta go. Like, they can't be up here.
Yeah.
And the girl who just got pregnant,
Sure.
she gotta go.
How about this?
That's crazy.
How about this? The worship leader that ate too much or drank too much the night before. Or, there are so many examples, like, of pride and gluttony and shame. Like, we are all guilty of these things, and lust. Like, if you got an Instagram, unfortunately, you're probably seeing some stuff you're not supposed to see. Whether you want to or not.
At least once.
So, yeah. Like this idea that I, as the worship leader, as the staff person, have the authority to say yes or no to your ability to serve is wild to me.
It's crazy, bro.
I will never understand that. It's never going to make sense.
Yeah.
Like, and hey, y'all, if you're looking for a spot, come on, come hang. Like, I'm down. Somebody told you no, come hang out with me. I got you.
And that's really genuine.
Yeah.
That's very genuine. Being personally connected to you as a bro, that he's honest heart about that, y'all. So.
Yeah. And honestly, that leads so perfectly into my next aphorism, which is the power of somebody's yes.
Come on.
To respect and honor and being grateful for somebody's yes.
Yeah.
If somebody is going to say yes to serving alongside you, like, take that seriously.
Yeah, bro.
Respect them, honor their time, be prepared, and don't abuse their time. Like, you need to honor the time that they're willing to give to you, and you need to not abuse the time that they're not willing to give to you.
Yeah, bro.
Don't pressure that. Like, if you have a singer that can sing once every 6 months, you better remember to schedule them once every 6 months.
Yeah.
And you better not ask them to do it more. Like, if you want them to be a part of your community, of course there are ways to continue to challenge people and to continue to bring them in and ask them to grow. And I think that that's okay to ask people to grow.
Yeah.
But I'm not the authority of what that means.
Yeah, man.
I might say, hey, I want you to grow in this area. I'm not going to say you better do it exactly this way or it's not the way I want you to grow.
Yeah, man.
Because that's not biblical. No. That's not Jesus's heart.
No, it's not.
I have been so honored and blessed to know so many talented people that will say yes to things. And I try my best. I'm sure that I fail. But I try my best to honor their time, their commitment, and to not go back on my word, and to show them what I expect of them by what I do.
Yeah.
To be prepared.
Yeah.
For the set on Sunday, so that they know that I expect them to come prepared.
Yeah.
If I tell you I'm going to schedule you a month in advance, that planning center request better come through a month in advance.
Yeah.
Or I'm not doing my job.
Yeah, man.
And like, the truth of the matter is, like, the logistics behind worship leading are not that hard.
Yeah, man.
Spend a couple hours, like, get your sets planned out. Come on, talk to pastor, do what you got to do to, like, make sure that you're prepared, like, honor people's time.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It is such a shame the way that people people's time is not taken into consideration with worship ministry. Yeah. You got a great drummer. Don't schedule them 4 Sundays a month. Like, give them a Sunday off. We all need rest. If you're the staff worship person, you need to take a Sunday off too.
Yeah, man.
Like, maybe you can't take it off every month. That's probably a lot, but like, come on, like, spend time with your family, spend time, in Sabbath, spend time in rest. Like, these things are important. Spend time in worship. The unfortunate thing is, like, I am working on Sunday morning, so what I've got to do is find other ways to have church.
Outside of Sunday,
Right, yeah. So it doesn't always happen, so sometimes I need to take time away to worship, by myself.
Yeah, bro.
That yes is a beautiful thing when it comes from somebody. And I think it's so important to take it seriously and to treat it carefully.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. Because you can, there's spaces that kind of take advantage of that, and then discount
it's hard not to.
Serving,
Yeah, you have somebody really talented and, like, they're excited to be there. Why wouldn't I want to schedule you every single week?
Yeah.
Like, you're a great singer. Of course, I'd rather you sing with me every single week.
Absolutely.
But am I thinking about how it's going to affect this month or how it's going to affect the next 10 years that we can serve together?
Yeah.
Because if I just need a really good singer for the summer, like, maybe I'll just pay somebody to do that. But if I want somebody who's going to live in community with me for the next however many years, like, I'm going to need to honor them.
I'm going to honor their yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, bro. You're definitely going to honor their yes. Yeah, bro. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the one thing I was thinking when you were talking, your leader can steward that for you, but I think it's also important the one thing that you said is know when your body's telling you to take a break.
Yes.
And sometimes your no is just as valuable as your yes.
Yes, and if you have a good leader in front of you, they will respect that.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe it doesn't look like texting them at midnight on Saturday the night before.
Yeah.
But if you want to say, hey, I need to go to once a month for a little bit, or hey, I even need to take, step away for a minute.
Yeah.
A good leader will honor that and will check in on you in a month. You say, hey, I need 3 months. They better put a reminder in their phone
to check on you
in 3 months and leave you alone for 3 months. Both of those things are important.
Come on.
And it's not, it's not always easy. Like, sometimes I look at my set and I'm like, man, I could really use so-and-so.
Yeah.
But they just played last week.
Yeah.
And they need a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. See, but that's also that thing. It's not about our talents.
Yeah.
We're not worshiping our talents because you're on your team. You're gonna have a variety of singers, and of course, you're gonna have the mega star of singers, and you're gonna have the one that just wants to come and glorify God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's important not to allow your own judgment and want for talent to cloud the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is just worship.
Yeah.
So I agree with that wholeheartedly, bro.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. Well, Braxton, where can people follow you?
Well, you go to, if you're following anything personal, it is on Instagram, it is Brax, BEE.RAX.
Hey.
If you're looking for the worship stuff that I'm a part of writing, producing, the best place to find that is Youth Effect Worship. That's YTHEFFECT on Instagram, and Youth Effect Worship on Spotify or wherever you find your music. Those are kind of the main outlets right now. Who knows, where else I might be a year from now, but right now that's what we're doing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And what can they be expecting from you? What's coming up?
Yeah. So by the time this comes out, you will hopefully have heard a song that Chris and I did together called Freedom, coming out mid-September. And we have Youth Effect is dropping their debut album at the end of October.
I'm excited about that.
So we'll drop that date and give you guys some opportunities to listen to some of that stuff. But debut album. Expect, we've started to really hone in our sound with Youth Effect, and it's more of a dance pop vibe. It's going to be music that's going to get you excited. It's going to get you moving your body. It's going to get you ready to be hyped for Jesus.
Heck yeah.
And Yeah. So expect a little bit of that. There's a little bit of some regular old classic worship tunes on there as well. But yeah, we're just we're feeling like a party right now.
Yeah,
and so
bro.
we're gonna keep leaning into that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And y'all, this project is gonna be dope.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited for people to hear
It's
it.
gonna be really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And man, you wrote the heck out of those songs.
Y'all.
Yes. He wrote the heck out of those songs. So make sure when you get a chance to go check out Youth Effect, they have many, many, many more songs outside of the album that's coming out in October. But y'all doing your thing for sure.
Dude, it's a good time.
Yeah,
We're just having a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard not to enjoy yourself when you're getting to just write music about God with your friends and yeah. Do some exciting stuff.
Come on. Well, Braxton, I have had the best time having you on the show.
Yeah, dude.
You've given everybody so many nuggets, and I love that. And my heart is full. Having you on my couch.
Oh, it's so
talking
good.
about worship, yo.
Dude, it's so good to be here. I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, bro. Well, if you guys have made it this far into the Worship Afterisms podcast, first of all, I just want the chance to say thank you to watching this episode with Braxton. He's so phenomenal. Make sure you guys follow all of the pages that have been tagged and go follow this man because, like I said, things are going to happen for him and you ain't going to want to miss that journey or that story. And man, he has the cutest kids.
Yeah.
So you'll get a chance to see them too. So definitely follow him. But as we come to a close, I just want to remind each of you to keep looking for your worship aphorisms and use those to help one person, one aphorism at a time. I just want to say thank you, and I love y'all. Peace.
What's up, y'all? My name is Braxton. I was just on the Worship Afterisms podcast with my boy Chris. It was such a good time. Make sure to give us a follow. Give Worship Afterisms a follow and Chris August. And we'll see you soon. You are the only one I worship. You're the centerfold. You are my freedom.